All right, good morning, everyone. To the guests who are here, welcome. Glad that you could be with us. To the students and staff who are watching from your classrooms, good morning and welcome to our annual Veterans Day program. And to community members who might have gotten the link and are watching live as well, we welcome you also. I do want to address the students specifically for a moment about Veterans Day. It's a day that can feel a little removed from what it is that we do day to day. But my guess is almost all of you know someone who has served in the armed forces at some point in their life. A grandparent, a parent, and in a few cases right now, a sibling who is actively serving in the armed forces. And today is the day to remember them, to thank them, and to just pause and remember what they've given on our behalf. That's what today is about. It's not about politics or policy. It's about remembering individual American citizens who chose to serve on our behalf. So as we go through this program and as we go through today, I would encourage you to think of those people who just came to mind from your family or friends that have served. And if you get a chance today, reach out and just say thanks. We remember you, we appreciate what you did. And that's what today is about. At this point, regardless of your location, if you're in a classroom or you're at home or you're here with us, we ask that you please stand for the national anthem and then the Pledge of Allegiance and then be seated after that. Post the colors. I'd like to welcome everybody to the 2021 High School Veterans Day program. It's so nice to have this in person again after taking a year off. It'd be nice if we could get a few more community members in here, but hopefully next year we'll be able to get back to our regular program. It's great to see everybody. I'd like to introduce VFW Commander Don Hartman, who will also be doing some speaking, as myself, Scott Klassy, the Commander of the American Legion. I'd like to give a few thank yous out before we get started. I'd like to thank the school district administrators, faculty, and students.
the Monroe community who always supports us. As all of you well know, we built a brand new memorial on the outside of town there, and that took everybody from the community to make that happen, so we do appreciate that. Thank you to Will Jansen and his staff, and of course all the students in the band. You make such great music to make this day very enjoyable for us. Also, I'd like to thank the choir, and most of all, thank you to the veterans that have served. We have a good turnout today. This is what this day is for. Unlike Memorial Day for fallen soldiers, Veterans Day is for everybody that served. No matter what you did in the service, it's anybody that served is what Veterans Day is for. So I'd like to have the veterans rise. Can we please give them a round of applause? Thank you. And the last thing I have, this is a very important day for us, all veterans. It's a very proud moment for everybody. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start the musical portion of the program.
We, the people, are here today to honor the men and women, past and present, who have served our country in the military. We are especially pleased to celebrate this 11th day of the 11th month of 2021, knowing we have a newly completed Mount Horeb Veterans Memorial Park. On this Veterans Day, we remember the 118 Gold Star veterans from the area who made the ultimate sacrifice of giving their life for our country. We also pay tribute to the 617 names that are engraved on 399 granite pavers surrounding the Freedom Tower at the memorial. One of the veterans' pavers is that of Adolph Lewis Frederickson. It simply reads, in honor and memory of Adolph Lewis Frederickson, PFC, U.S. Army, World War II, 1945. Engagements, the Ardennes, Rhineland, Central Europe, Purple Heart. But like many of the veterans' pavers that are laid at the Veterans Memorial, it is not just their names that are important, but it's their stories that will hopefully be shared and remembered by their families and the people visiting this memorial forever. There are two stories I'd like to share about Adolph Lewis Frederickson. They are from an article written by Paula Frederickson that appeared in the Pecatonic Valley Leader on December 25, 2014. She writes that Adolph, her father-in-law, was a member of the 2nd Infantry Aero Division in World War II. As their unit moved into Germany in late 1944, something that defies all law of reason happened. At the exact same time as Adolph Frederickson was marching across the Rogue River Bridge with his company, he suddenly came face to face with his brother, Frederickson Fritz Frederickson. But also on that bridge at the same time was another Mount Horeb native that Adolph's best friend was Milford Thousand. They were all members of different units, which really makes this moment in time unbelievable. While the reunion only lasted a few minutes, it was a huge morale booster for the 3 Mount Horeb soldiers. They would not see or hear from each other again until the war was over. The second part of this treasured story is again an account of events written by Paula Frederickson. As time went on, in weeks and months of fighting the Germans, the 2nd Infantry reached the Rhine River, and soldiers battled their way foot by foot, house to house, town to town. Following the eventual capture of Merseburg, Germany, a German sniper bullet met its mark, and Adolph Frederickson fell wounded in a snow-covered trench. The bullet had gone through both of his upper thighs, and Adolph could not move because of the sniper's location. Also in the trench was a young German couple who was also hiding from the sniper. The young couple risked their lives to sneak away to town to get a blanket to wrap Adolph in as he was in shock, cold, and bleeding. Unfortunately, the blanket that the couple wrapped Adolph in had a swastika on it. And hours later, when his unit arrived, what they saw was an unconscious, what they thought was a German soldier, wrapped in a blanket with a swastika on it. The medics drove Adolph, still wrapped in the blanket, to a hospital medical unit. Once there, of course wanting their own soldiers to be top priority, they left Adolph draped over a tub. Besides, what they believed to be a German soldier appeared to be near death anyway. Adolph whispered faintly, "I'm a Yank. I'm a Yank." Trying to get them to listen, but to no avail. Then finally, an orderly passing by thought he heard something coming from the German soldier. Adolph repeated the words, "Yank, Yank." The orderly then searched for a dog tag, and with that life-saving identification, Adolph was rushed into surgery, saving his life. Adolf Lewis's Frederickson's inscription does not contain his entire story. But when you read his paper at the memorial, remember what you heard here today. On the 11th day of the 11th month of 2021, Veterans Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Don, and what a great story. Military service by its nature is temporary. The legacy of that service, however, can benefit generations for centuries. Veterans Day can be traced to the armistice which ended World War I. Though the peace of that treaty did not survive the fascist tyrannies of Hitler and Mussolini, the freedom enjoyed by Europeans today was a result of that service and sacrifice made by millions of U.S. veterans. It is this legacy of those who have worn the uniform of the United States. For these young people, a bad day at work does not mean a blown cow or a lost business. It can mean watching a best friend die, losing a limb, or being immersed in the cloud of suffering that is synonymous with war. Even veterans who have not experienced combat share a bond with those who have. They all have expressed a willingness to die for their country if called upon. They have all pledged themselves for military justice, which requires strict obedience and professionalism, and they have all pledged loyalty to the U.S. Constitution. We remind all veterans that their service matters. We remind them that their well-being matters, especially to us. Most importantly, we offer our assistance and friendship. Fewer than 10% of Americans can claim the title of veteran. Less than 0.5% of our population currently serves. Veterans have given us freedom, security, and the greatest nation on earth. It is impossible to put a price on that, but we must remember them. We must appreciate them and hear their stories. And we heard a great one from Commander Hartman about Mr. Frederickson. I used to bowl with him, and Adolf was a very great man, very proud of himself. So please, if you do know veterans and they're willing to talk about it, learn their stories. Like John said, the papers only tell a small piece of it, usually what unit they're in, maybe what conflicts they're in. But take the time for a young student, you got grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings in some cases. Get to know their stories, their experiences that they went through. It explains a lot why we hold these days so important. With that, God bless our veterans, and God bless America.
Well, we're going to do one of our traditional moves at this program, which is to play the service songs. So for those of you who are veterans, when you hear your song, please stand during that moment so that we can recognize you.
Thank you, band. Thank you, choir. Thank you, orchestra. Cody Lund was principal here for those who know me. And thank you, veterans. Thank you for all you've done for our community, for our nation. We owe you deep gratitude for that, so thank you. For those with a great story from Mr. Hartman, also know that the Veterans History Project is a great project at the Library of Congress. If you're ever looking for other stories, other information, or veterans want to share your story, so it stays here forever. The Veterans History Project is a great project at the Library of Congress. As we finish up our program here, there will not be any volleys outside. As you can tell, the weather is a little cold and rainy, so we'll be staying away from the volleys, but we will be ending the program here. So thank you, veterans, for what you've done. Thank you for being here. Thank you, community, for joining us live on YouTube. Thank you, Mr. Lightfree, for helping us out there. And again, let's just give a round of applause to our veterans, please.
Please rise. Color guard, close to your flag. Veterans, and salute. Color guard, retire the colors.
Order! Ho! Receive colors, take colors up. Right!